Bar Brady was in the back with MJF and Jericho. They're just doing bits now. With MJF and Jericho, they're just better delivered bits, but they're all still bits. There's no oomph to them as real anymore. Marvez got his hair cut with a pencil sharpener. Did you see that? Side of his head's as white as a fish's belly. Tony Schiavone introduced Sting. Has it ever snowed 4 weeks in a row in Florida before? It's amazing.
Only in the hotel.
Very good. Very good. Buddy Landell used to say, if it don't snow, we can't go. Sting ought to quit painting his face and start dyeing his hair. I thought at first it was the lights or the snow that was on it, but his hair is normally brown, but it's not young guy brown now. It's older guy brown and has a tendency to look gray with the lights on it, and it's thinned a little bit. Why don't he go with the Wahoo McDaniel spray on black type of thing? Do you think that would help his presentation?
I mean, I guess, but that's the least of the problems here.
Well, and here comes Darby Allin, and I understand, again, there is a glimmer of sense somewhere in a lot of this stuff. It just gets covered up by inexperience, but I understand the idea of giving Darby Allin a rub by having him together with Sting, or Sting passing a torch or giving his blessing or whatever. In theory, yes, I understand that. But in visual practice, Sting and Darby Allin together in the ring looks like a legendary Ringling Brothers clown with his delinquent grandson that dropped out of clown college. There's a generation missing between them. There's a fucking foot in height and 75 pounds in weight. I don't fucking know. But anyway, they're together and they get to say almost nothing before this time Team Taz interrupts on the screen. Normally they come out. But since there's only 5 of them, including a jacked up bodybuilder, the human suplex machine, and a goddamn fucking powerhouse 300-pound rookie, they've got to be on the screen so they don't get beat up by the senior citizen carrying the fucking baseball bat. And Taz's promo is that Darby Allin and Sting are the heels. They're the ones that fight dirty. So they make a challenge for taking it to the streets. That's whatever. We're going to take it to the streets. Are you ready to take it to the streets? Well, we want to take it to the streets. Apparently, this was a challenge for a street fight match between 2 members of Team Taz and Darby Allin and Sting. But since nobody ever actually got those English words out, asked, as JR you say, challenge, asked, and answered, they just challenged each other to take it to the streets, and then they had to announce on fucking Twitter that they're going to have a street fight next week. Is that basically what you're understanding now?
That was my understanding of what they were setting up. I didn't see anything on Twitter, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, because they never actually said we're going to have a street fight match next week. They just, we're going to take it to the streets. Okay, we'll take it to the streets. Well, what street are you going to? I'd like to be there. Main Street? Broadway?
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. And then in practice, you had 5 guys that looked like that. Taz and his crew challenging an AARP member and a 160-pound babyface to something involving streets. So then they put the match that it is officially a match. Now Sting is going to be in a street fight. The only one that I would, since Taz is not going to be physically involved, the only one I would trust if I was Sting with my body is Starks. Because Cage wants to get his shit in, and Hobbs is greener than goose shit. But
this is their way of hiding what Sting can't do, which is work a match. They'll tape something. They'll edit something. We don't even know if it'll be cinematic or not. We're just assuming.
I hadn't even thought that. I'm thinking of what kind of match are they going to have?
They're not going to have a match.
It's really going to be an abortion if they try to do a movie.
I think that's what they're doing.
Have they quit doing pay-per-view completely?
No, they have another one. Actually, I just saw they moved the date from February to March.
So,
did they say it was next week, the street fight?
Well, look up on their Twitter while I'm rambling on about other shit, because they announced the match. I assume it's next week, because they never announce more than a week in advance. But if they're not waiting for Sting's first match until their next pay-per-view, they're insane. But we have already established the answer to that question.
It'll be on the next pay-per-view.
Will it? Okay. Maybe that's why they didn't complete the fucking challenge on television, because people might think it was next week, like I did when they fucking. Oh, God damn it. I wish there was some kind of Rosetta Stone that would come with this program where we could understand everything they're implying without actually saying it.
Hey, here's another thing. If Sting's going to come out every week with a baseball bat, maybe don't have Jericho do a promo holding a baseball bat right before you go to the segment.
Well, that's no, then not only a promo, but they tried to use it in the match. We'll get there. Anyway, so now we know Sting's going to at least be in a street fight on the pay-per-view. That's a smart move. Might be the end of Sting being ambulatory, but at least they'll have to pay to see it. But the ending of this thing was Darby Allin finally spoke and gave a very dramatic and lifeless reading of "Be careful what you ask for. It just might happen." And then Taz was off the screen with his team, and Darby leaves, and Sting walks out, and they just go to break. That was the exciting answer to the challenge that wasn't really made to begin with. Anyway, any comments on this before we move on to Kenny Olivier's house that was obviously rented for the occasion?
I think I made all my comments.